Hi, Linda Bowen here from stampingwithlynda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today is another fun card using that Merriest Wishes bundle. I have been featuring this bundle for the last couple weeks. I'm going to go ahead and remove my workstation here because I'm going to be bringing in my Big Shot. And as you know from past videos, it seems to slip and slide on that. What I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be using the new cable knit die. This die is very, very thick. So when you use it, I just need my platform and only one cutting mat. So different than what we have done in the past. So I'm just going to line that up. Trying to get it straight here. Let's see if I did. I think so. Going to bring, like I said, just one cutting mat and run that through the Big Shot. Now you can mist your cardstock with water if you would like. I am finding that I'm not having too much problem with that, but it is a suggestion if you're using thicker cardstock to mist it with water or alcohol, and it'll soften the paper so that it'll really give you a good crimp. But I love the looks of that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in that thin die adapter and my precision plate. Going to bring in two of the dies from that bundle. I'm going to be using my foil. This is my copper foil. I'm going to turn that upside down and I'm going to lay the die on it. I just think that sometimes by doing that, it just, oops, I'm doing this wrong. It makes it so that it doesn't give indents in it. The brass or the copper, I'm using the solid tag with it, and the detail tag I am doing in white this time. So I've got that. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. Much better without my cutting mat there. No more slipping and sliding. So just going to pull that over. Going to bring back that wood grain cutting mat to assemble my card. This die just pops right out, and this is done with the copper. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Big Shot brush. I'm going to push that around. I'm going to use my paper piercer to kind of poke those holes through so that I can pull that out. I've got my deer and my trees. Now I could color in those trees. I'm just going to leave them plain. I'm going to bring in a verse. This is Glad Tidings. This comes from the Merriest Wishes bundle. And I'm just going to stamp that at the bottom. Going to bring in my fast fuse, run that across, and add that to the copper. Isn't that just elegant looking? Again, as I'm taping this, the copper is on back order, but I am hoping by the time that it airs, it will be able to order it again. It has been a very big seller with Stampin' Up, and so they needed to shut it off because we were getting too many back orders. So watch my blog, stampingwithlynda.com, to see when you can order it, if it is still on back order. But I'm thinking by the time this video airs, it should be able to order. Going to take my glue dot, roll that up, and add that to my baker's twine. This is the magnetic or metallic baker's twine that comes in a dual pack. It is also in the holiday catalog. So I've got that. Going to bring in a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 5 1/4 by 8. I'm just going to score that. Going to be using Thinking of You at Christmas. This comes from the Elegant Ornament stamp set. Going to stamp that at the bottom. Going to go back into that cable knit that I had already done. I'm going to add some dimensions to the back of that. And then add that to the front of my card. Now my signature, I've been told, is adding add a dimension to that. Adding a 1/4 sheet of cardstock behind my card. Remember, I cut this card at 5 1/4 by 8, and then I am just going to add some adhesive, and I am going to add it to a piece of real red that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So love when it has, oh, I see I cut that wrong. And so really I only have a border on each side. So this card, let's get my ruler in here. This card must have measured 5 1/4. Okay, so what happened is I cut my red wrong. So it's 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. So actually a 1/4 of an inch smaller, but I kind of like that with just the red border around. So lots of different ways to stamp. Make a mistake, it's a reason to embellish. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.